If you were a black dancer who grew up in an all-white dance studio in the early 2000s like me, you probably heard you should dance for Alvin Ailey. That was because that was the only dance school that people really knew about back then. Alvin Ailey wasn't just a choreographer. He was a storyteller. And for many black dancers, he was proof that our bodies and our stories belonged on the world's biggest stages. So, let's unpack who Alvin Ailey really was, how he built one of the most influential American dance companies in the world, why Revelations still brings dance audiences to tears decades later, and how his death during the AIDS crisis impacted his legacy. It's come to my attention that more than 90% of you guys watch these videos but aren't subscribed to the channel, so you guys are already a part of the Royal Village. So hit that subscribe button, give me a hype, give me a like, and let me know what other dance companies and dance legacies you want me to cover during Black History Month. Road to 1K! Alvin Ailey was born in 1931 in Rogers, Texas, during the height of segregation in the American South. He grew up in extreme poverty, raised primarily by his mother, surrounded by racial violence, fear, and silence. As a child, Ailey witnessed trauma that would later echo throughout his work, including the constant threat of racial terror that black families lived with daily. When he moved to Los Angeles as a teenager, his world changed. That's where he encountered the black church, gospel music, blues, jazz, and eventually dance. He studied Lester Horton.
So Lester Horton, he was a teacher, a choreographer, a dancer himself. He had his own company. At one point, Mr. Alvin Ailey was in that company. And when Mr. Horton passed away, Mr. Ailey took over that company. Mr. Ailey was able to embody Mr. Horton's style. Laterals, stag positions, all of that was started by Mr. Horton. And then after his death, Miss Anne Marie Forsyth, she codified it. When I started taking specifically ballet, I remember walking in and just being the only black person in the room and being just so intimidated by that, even at 8 years old, like being aware of that. Then I moved to Houston, which is where I was introduced to I call him my dance dad, Ken Epting, and he was the one who introduced me to the Horton technique. He just always had this love for Ailey. He was like, oh, you need to know who this company is. To see dancers that look like me at a heightened level of professionalism, it was so inspiring.
Whose technique emphasized strength, flat backs, lateral movement, and a full-bodied athleticism. This foundation would later become central to the Ailey aesthetic. But even early on, Ailey understood something crucial. In order for black stories to be told, we have to write them.
Alvin Ailey formed his own dance company at age 27, at a time when many venues didn't even allow black and white dancers to dance on the same stage. But he was constantly breaking new ground in the world of dance, as he told Sunday Morning in 1984.
If it were easy, I wouldn't want to be doing what I'm doing. It's because we're trying to make that perfect moment.
That's when he started the Alvin Ailey Dance Company. Alvin Ailey Dance Company in 1958. Alvin Ailey founded what would become the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. He didn't create the company to assimilate. He created it because black dancers were being excluded, sidelined, or tokenized. His vision was radical. A professional modern dance company centered on black dancers. Work inspired by African American cultural memory, a repertoire that made space for joy, pain, faith, and resistance. At a time when modern dance was dominated by white choreographers, Ailey said, "Our stories belong here." And the company didn't just perform in elite theaters. They toured community centers, colleges, international stages. Ailey wasn't interested in elitism. He was interested in access.
It's a long way down, you got to breathe. Love is ready. You got to move. You got to move. You got to move. Every Sunday, we're at church. Praise God to the Almighty.
Our beautiful black songs from the church. The joy of these people, of my aunts and uncles exploding in church, is something that was always with me.
I remember there was this procession of people all in white. They sang Waiting in the Morning. I came up with a piece, an evening-long saga of the Black experience that we call Revelation. I've been mute and I've been scorned. Yes, I've been mute and I've been scorned.
I was moved to tears seeing Revelations.
If you know Alvin Ailey, you know Revelations. Premiered in 1960, Revelations is widely considered one of the most important modern dance works ever created. But what makes it so powerful? Revelations is built from spirituals, gospel music, blues, memories of the Black church. It moves through sorrow, struggle, hope, and release. The choreography is grounded, weighted, and deeply human. These dancers aren't trying to escape gravity, they're meeting it. And that's why audiences cry. Because Revelations doesn't pretend suffering doesn't exist. It says we endured, we survived, and we still praise. For many Black viewers, it feels like watching ancestral memory in motion.
Seeing Revelations, in some ways, was everything that I already knew growing up, overcoming adversity of some type. The use of spirituals as a way to tell the story of a people and how they overcame.
When I danced Revelation, I never imitating somebody. Obviously, I never been at the white painted church in the South, never been. I could feel about when Alvin talk about, when I hear the music, I think so I can sense something. I can express my background, what it is. I don't think he asked me to change who I am or where I come from. I think he really liked it to me as a Japanese.
And my relationship with Revelations goes past the stage. I have a very strong spiritual background, and I think that's one of the most impressive things about the piece is that it speaks to our spirits.
Alvin created this piece because he was intrigued by people and personalities, and I think he took those influences and created a story that really talks about everything. We start with, I've been buked and I've been scorned. You think about pain and weight, the weight of the world on your shoulders. Remember the hands reaching up to the sky while you see that those dancers are just rooted into the ground, right? It's this yearning. And then you go into Wade in the Water. I get to take that weight and that heaviness, and I get to become baptized. And then to move forward through the journey and to come to the yellow section where we have our fans and the sun is bright and beautiful, where we're rejoicing and being so happy. I'm reborn every time I perform Revelations. You really feel it. It's truthful. It is raw, and it is real for me every time.
It is very easy for it to be fresh every day, because just like a prayer is new every morning or every night, that's what Revelations is for me. I was touring with the company until March of 2014. I woke up one day in Los Angeles and found out that I had ruptured a disc in my lower back. I knew at that time that this would be career changing. So I had not been dancing with the company. They asked if I wanted to come back and perform the Umbrella Girl in Revelations. And I could not say no, because I wanted to put that period, I should say exclamation point, to the end of my Ailey run. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity to be able to look out on the audience and really know that this was real and it was important and it changed my life.
Since I dancing with the Ailey company, I saw almost every Revelations. And now I'm at every night I watch performance from the house. Every night. Some people said, how can you watch every night Revelation? I could, because every day somebody some dance in the corner, some dance in the front, gives something so new, so something fresh and something excite me. And then, I'm sharing that experience with this dancer. That makes more exciting than just watching Revelations. Something I'm in the part of the person's life.
But no matter where we go, there's a connection that happens. Maybe you may not even understand the words in the music, but there's something that we all have this understanding, this similarity in our cultures, and I feel that's found in the ballet Revelations.
It's a journey, and you end up triumphantly celebrating your faith, your fortitude, your love of your fellow man. These are the days.
Former dancer and artistic director Judith Jamison played a key role in the company's rise. In 1971, Ailey choreographed a solo for her called Cry, an ode to Black women. It's now considered a classic.
Was it exhilarating to perform, or were you
scared to death? A little bit of both.
Circle. The company was often on the verge of financial ruin, but Ailey always brought it back. Then his health started to decline, and in 1989 he asked Jamison to take over the company. Later that year, he passed away.
What was that loss like for the people in the company?
Oh, it was devastating, but it was also, it lifted us, because look at what he left us. What a roadmap.
Alvin Ailey died 1989 at the age of 58. His official cause of death was complications related to AIDS, though at the time it was publicly attributed to a blood disorder. The late 80s AIDS crisis was devastating, especially in the dance world. Entire generations of artists were lost. And laid on top of that was stigma, silence, and fear. Ailey was a deeply private man. He rarely spoke publicly about his sexuality or his illness, but his death forced the dance world to confront a painful truth. So many of the artists shaping modern dance were being erased, not just by illness, but by societal neglect. Yet even in death, Ailey's work continued to speak. Today, the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater is one of the most recognized dance companies in the world, a launching pad for Black and brown dancers, a cultural institution. Ailey's legacy lives through Revelations being performed globally, a repertory that honors tradition and innovation, a company that continues to center inclusivity, but maybe most importantly, Alvin Ailey changed what modern dance looks like. He proved Black bodies are central, not peripheral. Our bodies are universal. Dance can be both political and spiritual. Alvin Ailey didn't just choreograph dances. He choreographed belonging in a world still wrestling with visibility, representation, and whose stories get told. Alvin Ailey's work reminds us movement is memory, dance is testimony, and legacy is built when someone refuses to be erased. If you ever watched Revelations and felt seen, that's Alvin Ailey still speaking. He still speaks today through pieces like the House of Juicy Couture and the House of Telfar collaborating on a ballroom Vogue number inspired by Revelations. And it just received a Bessie Award for Best Performance of 2025. And with that being said, in all that you are and in all that you do, take up space. I'm Charlize Martin, your Liberian American princess, and this has been the LAP Podcast. Alvin Ailey isn't the only Black dance company, so definitely hit that subscribe button. If you're interested to see what other dance companies and other Black dance companies we end up covering on this channel. If you're interested to see what other Black people I've covered on this channel, I covered all of the Black people that were on this most recent season of Love Island called The Black Edit. That's already up, so give that a hype and a like. And yeah, so see you guys later. Bye-bye.